If you guys don't know, this is the third time I'm fucking filming with Anna because I'm having technical difficulties, so that's really fun. Yeah, I just introduced you for you. So this is...
My name is Anna, and I go by Anna the Nurse on social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Yeah.
Anna is a labor and delivery nurse. We met online. We met in real life back in October because I was like, hey, you want to meet up?
Yeah, she contacted me, and I was like, sure, because she had an assignment in the Bay Area, and it was pretty close. And I had available room. I had an RV. It was empty. I was like, perfect timing. It was meant to be.
Literally.
And then, yeah, we met each other and just absolutely hit it off.
Yeah, it was really great. Anna and I have been friends ever since. We went to NurseCon together. We went on a Gatmalad. Can you say Gatmalad?
Gakmalad.
Ooh, that was...
Gakmalad. Gardmalad.
Gardmalad if you're American.
Gardmalad.
Gardmalad. Yeah, it's a French Canadian scrub brand, if you guys didn't know, and we both wear them and we're both obsessed. They took us on a retreat in Palm Springs, and that was literally just earlier this week.
Yeah, it was a good time.
We've had a really busy week. Anna went home for one shift.
Oh my god, yes. Life of a nurse. Well, that's the thing, like, as a nurse, you can take a bunch of days off or, but I went back for just one shift, and they really needed me too. Like, short-staffed, as usual. And I was like, I cannot do that to them. I cannot call in sick.
You're a good person.
I know, right?
You're a good person.
I thought that too.
Yeah. You're like, I'm a good person.
But also I kicked myself. I'm like, why didn't I just take the whole fucking week off?
It is what it is. I mean, you're back now. She literally got on a... No, wait. Okay, so you left 2 days ago. You had a shift. Was it that night that you got there?
No, it was
the next
day.
one.
Yeah.
Was it a day shift or a night shift?
It was a day shift this time.
Oh, so you flip-flop.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do nights and I do days.
Okay.
Best of both worlds, honestly. People are always like, what do you like best? For my sanity, day shift for sure. But like the culture, night shift culture's so much more chill. And then being on labor and delivery, it's more... Not that I like emergencies, but more natural labors that come in. At least at my hospital, we tend to not induce as much at night versus during the day. And during the day, it's like inductions and stuff like that. But anyways, there's more support on days.
Yeah, so. I kind of feel that way too. Well, thank you for being on my podcast.
Thanks for having me.
I'm really excited for this episode. So something I start every guest off with is a question from the previous guest. So pretty much, I want you to be thinking about a question for the next guest. You're not going to know who they are. At the end of the episode, I'll ask you for it. If you can't come up with one, that's totally okay. Some people just kind of blank and they can't. That's fine. But if you do come up with one, I'll ask the next guest your question. They'll come up with one for the next and so on.
Okay,
Makes
perfect.
sense? So I have one for you. It's a little strange. And if you know who my previous guest was, then you're going to be like, well, it's not very strange for them. But the question is, what are your thoughts on soaking?
Wait, who was your previous guest? Are you allowed to tell me or no?
Will that ruin it? I'll tell you after.
Okay.
I don't think it'll ruin it.
Okay.
I'll tell you after because it's kind of like a strange question.
Because I'm like soaking. I don't know what that is. So unless you're talking about like soaking your feet or soaking your hands. Soaking.
No. So soaking, I had to look it up too. We did talk about it briefly on the previous episode if you've listened already. But if you haven't, soaking is basically from Mormon TikTok. It's penetrative sex without the movement and hip thrusting.
Well, wouldn't you have to penetrate to get into the woman?
That's what I think. So here's how it works. I literally had to Google it. Here's how it works. You've got a couple. The guy inserts his penis into the vagina and just lies there. He does... I don't know what this means.
This is a real thing? This is a real thing?
Apparently. So after my guest... So it was Addison. Big Daddy Addie. Okay. Which makes so much more sense to me. Like, that's such a fucking funny question.
That's my question? He's like, what do you think of soaking?
And, like, whenever I asked him, I'm like, come up with a question. We're not going to know who it is. He's like, okay. Here we go. Hope they're okay with this, which
what I knew. It was actually, it would be good if it was someone who was Mormon.
I know, it would be because then maybe they could. It would be insightful because I'm not shaming this culture by any means. It's just interesting when we're not from that culture.
Oh, of course.
I've never heard of this. So I want to know more.
Wait, okay. Wait, are you going to tell me more?
I'm going to tell you more. Okay. I'm going to tell you more. It says, he does sweet, I don't know what this part means, F.A., letting his dick soak. Did that just change the definition? Okay. So let's see. There's many insane and wild aspects of the Mormon religion. I'm reading this from, that is not my own words. I'm reading this from an article. This ex-Mormon says that if Mormons have sex before marriage, they won't get to experience the full glory of the afterlife party with God. Yeah. And you'll probably be shamed by the church in your community. Basically, it's a loophole for Mormons to satisfy their sex needs without sinning, as strange as that seems. If you're thinking, hang on, why not just invite a maid over to jump on the bed and help the couple soaking get some thrusting up there? Don't worry, they've already thought of that. So he penetrates the woman, they lay there, and they have people jump on the bed for the movement because they're not performing the movement.
Wait, so is Addison Mormon?
No, Addison is gay as fuck.
Oh.
He's not Mormon. I think that he just stumbled upon Mormon TikTok and saw this. How do you stumble upon that?
And then you stumble upon it and you're like, I need to know more. I need to know more.
Exactly.
I would like to know the insight from a Mormon. And like, who made this rule? Is this like
right. Like who
is this really a thing?
And who like passes this down? Like who tells the next generation like, hey, by the way, if you're getting a little horny.
Yeah. And is that okay? Is that truly okay?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't know, but if you are a Mormon listening or an ex-Mormon, please email me because I am curious. Like again, I grew up in a religious household. Did you grow up religious?
My mom was religious.
Okay.
So yes, I grew up in a religious household. Yes, I did.
So and every religion's different, but with mine it was very much like stay abstinent and we don't really talk about it. So I wonder if this is kind of one of those things like you stay abstinent, you don't do it, otherwise you sin, you go to hell. And again, each religion's different and every household's different, so I'm not getting into religion per se on this podcast, but it's just interesting. So they call it jump humping. The Mormon threesome that's also gone viral on TikTok apparently. Because one of them is jumping on the bed while someone's...
Wait, and this is on TikTok? And
apparently it is.
You bet your ass I'm looking this up.
Yeah. After this episode, I'm so looking this up. So yeah, that was your question. Okay, there's a lot more to it.
How do I feel about it?
Do you know what it is?
Oh, okay. Well, no, I actually... Well, now I didn't. Now I do, and now I'm...
Okay, yeah, the question was, what are your thoughts on soaking? So now we know a little bit of context.
I don't even know what to say. Just basically, you do what you think you need to do, what feels right for you.
Yeah, if that feels right to you.
Yeah, as far as my opinion.
I think it's a little toxic in my own opinion, but also I wasn't raised in that, so I don't have a lot to say.
You bet your ass. If I find a Mormon friend, I'm going to ask them about this and get their opinion.
I want to know. Well, and a lot of these TikToks that are talking about it are like it's women coming from like their ex-Mormons and they're like, did you know we had to go through this? So one of those things where it's like, I don't know if, there's obviously tons of ins and outs. And again, it's a religious thing. So like, I'm not going to dive way deep into it because I don't want to shame anyone's religion.
Yeah. But I'm like just thinking about it and the fact, like for this is so inappropriate, but if for a man to get hard and then he sticks his penis into a vagina and then just like sits there, that's like some self-ass control. That's some self-control.
It is some, because like,
and for me too, like I'm
trying to like roll my hips or something.
Yeah, my guy is in me. I'm not gonna just like sit there,
just lay there, and also
and be like, oops.
I wonder if they move a little bit more as the bed's bouncing. You know what I mean?
I just want
you shouldn't talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, that was your question.
That's my question. Okay. Well.
Your question does not have to be anything about that.
All right.
But that was your damn question.
Out of all the, what do I think of soaking? That's okay.
It's interesting, right? And if you know Addison, I'm like, okay,
he's funny.
He is so funny. But moving on, have I ever told you about when I wet the bed with my husband in the bed?
No. Like recently?
It hasn't happened in a long time, but I have wet the bed multiple times, and I was fucking sober.
Okay, explain.
Okay, so apparently it's a trauma response, which is so embarrassing.
But we're like laughing at your trauma.
We're like, she's so crazy girl. So, long story short, I would have these these dreams where I'm sitting on the fucking toilet. And I'm in my house. Everything looks just like my house. Sitting on the toilet, and I pee in the toilet, which really, I'm peeing in the fucking bed. And so I woke up the very first night it happened with my husband in the bed. I was like, oh my God.
And you legit peed the bed.
Legit pissed myself in the bed.
I've had dreams where I've peed the bed, or like peed, but I haven't peed the bed. That's interesting.
No, I peed the bed. Like, I woke up.
Wait,
lots of piss. So I got up, ran to the bathroom. I was like, well, I can't change the sheets with him in it because he's going to know.
Right.
So I got a towel. I was like, I'm just going to lay on the towel. But he woke up because he's a pretty light sleeper. He woke up. He was like, what are you doing? With me with the towel. I'm like, nothing. And then he's like, what are you doing? Like, he like was, you know, like groggy. Like, what? And he's like, did you wet the bed? I was like, yes, I did. I started bawling because I was so embarrassed.
Wait, how many years into the marriage was this?
This was, were we even married? We might not have been married. This happened very early on.
Well,
very early.
You just got it out of the way.
That's all. Yeah.
You're like, if he wants to still be with you, then he's a keeper.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I'm just like, guys, if you've wet the bed, if your husband or wife is still with you, just count your lucky blessings. Yeah. So, but it happened multiple times, which I do laugh about it. Like, it is fucking funny, but I didn't know until I started going to therapy that it was a trauma response, and she could link it to like situations that had happened that day, like with family members or whatever I was going through, and specific family member that I don't speak to anymore, and I don't want the bed anymore.
Oh, what? Coincidence? I think not.
I think not. But I just thought it is funny. It's okay to laugh at it. Like, it's one of my favorite things to tell people is that I wet the bed. Is that weird? It's one of my favorite things to tell people. It's a little strange. Well, a little icebreaker.
Right. If you will. I wet the bed. Hi, my name's Lindsay. I wet the bed.
Yeah. I'm a grown adult. Yeah, well, anyway, that's something. Okay, well, we spoke about how we met. My notes are all jumbled up in here. But something I did know about Anna very soon, I was like, yeah, we're definitely going to be really good friends, is when you said, do you care if I take a nap? Do I care if you take a little siesta? Yes, please.
I'm like, I met you. Hey, I'm going to go take a nap.
Literally. She's like, I hope you don't mind. Yes. But while you explore the house and the RV, my land, my kids, I'm going to go take a nap. And I was like,
peace
honestly,
out.
That's like my favorite thing ever. The fact that, and now every time we meet up,
even on the retreat, man.
The retreat, Nurse Con.
We take a nap.
We're taking a nap here. Oh, wait, no.
No, we just slept in.
I took a nap here. Oh. When I got here, I was like, I'm taking a nap. We slept in. It's like...
I support naps.
Oh, I support naps. I'm a huge nap supporter.
As a night shifter, like, naps are very important. And as a mother of 2 young children, naps are very important. 100% support them.
Absolutely.
I don't think I could live without my naps.
No, and I feel like that's okay. And it doesn't mean you're not productive. It doesn't mean anything. If it's, like, good for your self-care... I've got, like, a hair just tickling the shit out of my nose. I think naps are very healthy, and I really like naps.
Yeah. Like,
I don't know how people... Like, my husband, he can't nap. He's not a napper. Like, if he lays down, he's just wide awake.
Good for him.
Good for him, but that's just not me. We're complete opposites. Okay, so you're an L&D nurse. Yes. How long have you been in labor and delivery?
Labor and delivery... I'm going on... Oh, gosh. Well, I was a perinatal tech before I was a labor and delivery nurse. Oh. So... That being the case, in labor and delivery, going on 12 years, as a RN, 11 years. And I started in labor and delivery.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really cool. Okay, so did you go into nursing school? Like, tell me your nursing school journey. Tell me, when you got out of high school, did you want to go straight to nursing school? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, straight out of high school, I wanted to go into the nursing program. Honestly, I mean, to be completely transparent, I didn't come for money, and I knew nursing was like a stable career with good benefits, and, you know, it was just stable. Mm-hmm. And I did also have an experience when I was younger, when I went to a clinic. It was like a Planned Parenthood. This nurse, I mean, she might have, I don't know if she was an NP or a registered nurse, but I just knew she had a really good impact on me. She was so non-judgmental, and I just remember thinking, wow, that's a really cool career. But as I got older, then I was like, okay, nursing, because you hear all these things, like the opportunities, the pay, the benefits. So I went straight into nursing school. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, and honestly, through the process of nursing school, I mean, I went through to med surg. I didn't go into labor and delivery, my clinical, until the third, I wouldn't say trimester because I'm in
until the third trimester.
Third semester. But I do remember going to like med surg and these different areas. I was like, fuck, did I just like make a mistake to going into nursing? Like,
really?
This is nothing, like this is horrible because
it's not what you expected.
I guess I didn't know. I mean, it's just constantly dealing with sick people. But then when I went into labor and delivery, like typically women having children are healthy, and then it's a different dynamic. And I was like, oh my god, this is where I'm meant to be.
Like you had like your spark, like you got excited.
Yeah, instead of like being sad, like seeing all these sick people, I was like, oh my god, this is like life.
I think that's
life
important.
Into the world. Yeah,
because I'm sure you get asked a lot too. Like if you guys aren't following Anna on social media, you should be. She's on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, and it's Anna the Nurse. Her information will be in the description. But I get asked a lot, how did you pick, for me, ICU? How did you know? How did you know that's where you wanted to end up?
Yeah, how did you know?
I mean, kind of like you, but mine's just different. Like,
but you're like, I like sick people.
No. Seriously. No. It was honestly where I got, so I don't look at it as, yes, they're sick people, but I was honestly, until fourth semester was critical care for me. So first, second, and third, I was like, what the fuck did I just do? I'm not interested in any of this. Labor and delivery at the time scared the shit out of me. I had never seen a live birth. I was like, holy, our bodies are so fucking amazing. But I wasn't ready for that. I was like a little traumatized.
I mean, it's very traumatic.
It is.
Birth is traumatic.
Birth is traumatic. It's also beautiful. It can be both. But it's like, I was like dumbfounded. I had never seen a live birth. So I was like, well, except for like puppies. And that's like not the same thing. So that was second or third semester, I can't remember. But by the time fourth semester came around, it was critical care. And I was like, wait, this sounds kind of interesting. I'm interested in this. Ooh, I like taking care of sick patients. Yes, they are very sick. But for me, it's like the most rewarding thing when I've been taking care of someone for 18 weeks and they leave and they come back and walk in the hospital and like, hey, you were taking care of me.
Oh, for sure. I can see that.
Like for me, that's, and that it's rare. It is rare. But that is what my spark was. I was like, oh, that sounds really nice.
Yeah.
Especially like, it obviously depends, but like the ones that come to mind are transplant patients. Like transplant patients that are in the hospital for so fucking long. Not weeks, they're years. Like some of the hospitals I've worked at, there was patients there that had been there for 2 years after their transplant because it's so critical. Like, you know, TV makes it look like they just go in, they get on the list at some point.
I actually did not know that.
Oh, it's so grueling. It's sad. There's so much more to it, but it looks on TV, it looks like they go in, they sign up, they wait a few days, they get this heart or lung or whatever. They get it and they leave. No, they're in the hospital for weeks, months, years. I had multiple patients there for 1 to 2 years. We celebrated air quotes, their anniversary. Oh. And it's like their depression is so real.
Just fighting for their lives.
They literally are like, why did I do this? A lot of the times. But the ones that I have ones in my head right now that we follow each other on Instagram, he got to leave the hospital. He came back, saw us, he messages me all the time. Like those are the ones I'm like, oh, like that like hits me right in the feels where I'm like, that's why I chose ICU.
For sure. That's amazing.
Yeah,
that just goes to show you, I mean, nursing is there's so many different dynamics and opportunities, and
it's so vast.
I mean, it can accommodate a lot of personalities.
Yeah, and like you don't have to be the same as your colleague or, you know, in nursing school. Like if me and Anna were in nursing school together and she chose L&D, I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not doing that. And she'd be like, what the fuck? I'm not doing ICU. But that's okay. Yeah. It happens. And if you're choosing something different than all your friends, like that's okay.
And I mean, you can go into education.
You could go into education. And you can change your mind.
Absolutely.
You could go into one of these things and then be like, it's not what I thought. It's not what I thought I was. I don't like it. It's totally okay to change 6 months in, a year in.
And then just having your RN license, I feel like is a safety net. Like, let's say you did want to have a different career. Like, hey, you can always make money being a nurse.
Totally. I totally agree with that. I feel like that's why I went into nursing. Nursing was never my, like, end all be all. I've always wanted to be a nurse. I obviously have, like, stories from my past that made me respect healthcare workers and like really love them, but I never wanted to be a nurse right away. And I've definitely talked about that multiple times, but it's my plan B, and that's totally okay. And if it's your plan A, that's totally okay. Like, neither one makes you a bad nurse, because caring for people is the easiest part of our job. Like, I think going in and being kind and human to one another, easiest part.
Yeah.
Like,
it definitely takes a special person to be a healthcare worker.
Yeah.
And especially the different units. But
yeah,
it's great. It's very rewarding. Even like the toughest days, like, you know, you need to go home and you need a hug, but at the end of the day, I'm like, I do cool shit.
You do.
We do cool shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
That's one thing I will say, is that I can't, like, you'll hear a lot of toxicity. This is more for new grads and nursing students. Like, if you see toxicity on social media about our career, it's fun sometimes it's fun for us to poke fun at our own career and be like, what the fuck do we deal with? We deal with a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I would not choose another career to go to school for. Like, I would not rewind and choose something else.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Because I love nursing. Now, there's a lot of things I hate about it.
Right.
But there's a lot of things I really love, and specifically like 3-day work weeks. Yes, please.
Yeah.
I get 4 days off, can work on anything else I want to. Like you said, the safety net we have is like
amazing.
A really big bonus.
And you can have a week off and still not take any like PTO.
Yeah. If you want to stack your days, like,
yeah.
It's really cool. Not a lot of careers can say that.
Right. And, you know, that was another thing, another reason why I continued to do social media. I just did it like just as a hobby, and I focused on the more positive aspects of nursing and being a labor and delivery nurse, because there, like you said, there's so much toxicity out there, and there are a lot of negative stories. But maybe I got lucky, I don't know, with the people I work with, and it's not always like that. Like, so preaching about the good things of, you know, nursing, I feel, is a reason why I got a following, and, you know, this is a nice change of, you know, outlook on nursing. So
it is.
Yeah. Not to say, I mean, of course I have bad days, but
every career does.
Yeah.
That is literally one of the reasons I started following you, was because of all of the positive stuff you had to say about your career, how much you loved it. You can tell, like, you love what you do. Like, you wouldn't have to truly work as a nurse right now if you didn't want to.
Correct.
So, but you choose to.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
It's fulfilling. And I feel like that says, like, a lot about you. Like, you're a good person, you're a good nurse, but, like, you love your career, which I think is refreshing, and new grads and nursing students need to hear that, because there's a lot of toxicity online. Even every now and then I make some, because I'm like, oh, yeah, fuck this place, fuck this. But it's just for jokes. Yeah, it's like, it's just for jokes, but it can be a daunting career if you make it that way.
Yeah.
But every career has its teachers, firefighters,
right,
engineers. Everyone has a bunch of shit they deal with. That's part of, like, work.
Right. And that's the thing. Also, you can, I mean, I just feel like that, again, there's so many opportunities. You can change hospitals, you can travel, you can again, go to a different unit or different type of nursing,
like facility.
Education.
Yeah, education. You know, you can go higher in your education. You can stay right smack dab where you are. I love the versatility of nursing. It's definitely, like, made me who I am today. And that sounds so damn cheesy, but it's true. Like, taking care of other people, you really, like, get different perspective. Like, damn, I need to start doing this, or I need to stop doing this.
You know what's interesting? Okay, so I will occasionally float at my hospital, which I'm like, this is fucking dangerous. But they never
don't get me started on floating.
They never, as a labor and delivery nurse, my entire career, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, these pathophysiologies, I don't know these.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can hand out medications. Anyways, so again, I'm just not used to the dynamics of sick people. So I'm on my unit, and then when I go to a different unit, like the ICU, ER, med surg, I'm like, fuck, people are sick. Yeah. And then not only, it just makes me appreciate my own health. I'm like, wow, like, very lucky. And, you know, you want to take your health seriously, but also like the fucking nurses, I'm like, you guys are badass. Like, I don't know how you do this. And then people say that about me in labor and delivery. I'm like, but everyone's different, you know? I'm like, oh, this is cake, like literally second nature to me. But when I see like all these sick people, I'm like, oh my God, no. But they're like, yeah, no, just give them some Tylenol, give some antibiotics. I'm like, oh my God.
That's exactly how I feel. Like,
so
you know, something a bunch of nursing instructors say is for you should start in med surg before you go to a specialty.
Oh God.
Med surg is a specialty.
Yes.
What the fuck are they talking about?
That
med surg is hard, in my opinion, my humble opinion.
Dude, like
it's the hardest unit. It's the hardest unit.
The how many patients you have, and then
your
also
load,
the acuity of like they are sicker and sicker every day, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why are you in med surg? Like, no, this is not appropriate.
It's because there's not beds in the ICU. So those patients could be fucking sick. It's just we have nowhere to put them, and that's bad. That's on healthcare. That's not on me. That's not on Anna. That's just like when I'm floated to med surg, a piece of my soul dies.
Wait, because of the amount of people, or just
because
like
of the stress I get?
Yeah.
I swear to God, I'm crying at least at work, if not at work, in my car on the way home. I'm so fucking stressed.
Oh, so like
just like. I can't like in ICU I have my day down, my routine. Yes, things happen out of the ordinary. Yes, it doesn't always go like in my head how it should be, how it's planned, but there's patient ratios for the most part. 2, maybe fucking 3 ICU patients, which is not good. But in med surg, I was floated, last hospital I was floated to med surg. I got 6 fucking patients.
Yeah, no, that's insane.
I said like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One of those tracks.
Yes.
And they were like,
mistake.
Do you need? I'm feeling a little sick. I might need to go home.
Yeah, I might be a patient.
Because it's not what I'm used to. But those nurses are used to it.
Those nurses are amazing.
They
and like
are
people,
amazing.
like the med surg nurses that stay there. I'm like,
why?
They're like, I just love it. I'm like, no, you don't.
They do. No, I'm like, you don't know what you love. No, but
no, they're amazing.
Like, they do, and so I get frustrated when I hear instructors or anyone be like, well, you should go there to learn the basics of it. Basics, my asshole. That shit's hard. They don't get enough.
That's not basic.
That's not basic. It's if they mean like, I don't know what they mean by that, because if they mean IVs, half the time maybe you're poking somebody, but patients come up from the ER with IVs. Mm-hmm. For the most part, yes, we have to replace them, yes, but a lot of the time that's not something most nurses are good at. In ICU, we rarely get to poke people because they come with actual central lines where a doctor puts them in, or an IV from ER. So I'm like, it's funny, like whenever I go to poke a patient and they're like, aren't you a nurse? Don't you know how to do this? I'm like, I do, but the practice is so limited because I don't need to.
Yeah.
So then like, I don't know what they mean by get your basics down, because med-surg is a fucking shit show, in my opinion. Those nurses don't have enough resources. They don't have enough staff. They don't have enough anything.
So they're like, we want you to be abused first and then specialize. Like, just make sure. Don't get me wrong. I think, of course, there's benefit to being in med.
Yes.
If you start off in med-surg. But if that's not where you want to be, you don't have to be. You absolutely don't have to be. For example, me, because I just started in labor and delivery. And, of course, my skills as a med-surg nurse suck, but
because that's not what you're used to.
But I've been happy ever since. And then, you know, people are always asking me, do you think you'll advance and become an NP? But the thing is, I like the bedside. If I was an NP, I guess I could still work bedside, but what would be the point? Like, I don't want to be in the clinic. I don't want to sorry, I just went off a tangent.
No, I like
people
tangents.
Are like often that just shows how much I love the bedside.
And
a bedside nursing is very unique. Some people might think I'm crazy. Like, some people really don't like bedside, and that's why they advance. But I guess if you find the niche that you really love, I mean, God, labor and delivery is so fun.
I love bedside. I think that's when people are like, are you going to, expand your knowledge? Are you going to go back to school? I'm like, not for nursing. If I go back to school, it'll be for something like film or something random, because I'm just intrigued.
Yeah.
But not for nursing. I'm content with bedside. Like, especially as a travel nurse, I'm very content.
You're making the money.
I'm like, bye. Why would I? No, but to me, I'm fine with my ADN at bedside, and I think that should be just fucking fine if that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And same for like anyone listening. If that's all you want to do, it's not like only bedside. It's like you found what you like. that's awesome. Most people in life don't find a love in their career.
So my husband, he's when we had the kids, like when I had a newborn and a toddler, I went back to work full time, bedside. And he was like encouraging me. He's like, why don't you just like take a 6-month break or something like that? Or even like quit for a couple of years and see how,
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it and I started crying. I'm like, why the fuck am I crying? And I was like, this just shows like how much I love it.
Yeah.
Because it gives me a sense of purpose and, just I love it.
And it keeps like part of your identity. Like,
Yeah.
I think that also goes into like a whole nother thing, like being a mom.
Oh God,
I'm not a human mom. I'm a dog mom, but I can only imagine. I'm like, so I've got some of the same things. No, I'm just kidding. When my dogs go to doggy daycare. No, I'm just kidding. But like tons of my friends, lots of my family have children. And so I see them go through the same thing, which is like this loss of self, like loss of identity.
Oh my gosh.
And some
100%.
moms love being stay-at-home moms, and that's fine.
Some people,
they thrive.
Yeah.
That's fine. But if you're not and you want to go to work, there's nothing wrong with that. Women's rights. Like, you can fucking go to work if you fucking want to.
Yes. And honestly, I think going to work was more of a break for me.
Yeah.
Like, I got,
It's your me time.
Yeah.
In a sense.
And I didn't have to. It's so funny. Like, I go to work to take care of people and then I come home to take care of people. I'm a
who's
caregiver.
taking care of you?
Who's
Isn't that a TikTok sound? Who's taking care of you?
Yeah.
But really though, like I think that's cool though. Like you have so much love for being a nurse. I think like people really resonate with that and get excited.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm like glad that your profile is, of course we can joke around, but most of it's like positive, and that's really encouraging.
And I mean, it's just being in labor and delivery, the dynamics of like we get the tea, we see the drama, baby daddy drama. I'm just saying, it's like it can be kind of entertaining. And
Some of the stuff you see, like obviously we're completely different specialties. Literally, I've never seen it in my damn life. Like like the vag hand.
The vag hand?
Remember? You might call it something else, but I saw it on TikTok where you push the baby up during a C-section.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
I didn't know that's what it was called, but
well, that's right. Maybe that's like slang, probably.
It probably is, but yeah. So sometimes, like when people push and they can't get the baby out, and then they have to go to C-section for one reason or another. Maybe baby's heart rate is low, or something's wrong with mom, or it's been hours and hours and hours, and sometimes babies are too big to go through the vaginal canal, depending on the depending on the mom. So sometimes they get wedged in the vaginal canal. So when the doctor opens the mother's, like incision into the uterus, they have to reach their hand down into the pelvis and like scoop the baby's head, if you can imagine that. And sometimes it is so wedged in there, they need someone to go under the sterile table. So it's typically a labor and delivery nurse, and put a sterile glove on, and then you stick your hand in the vagina, in the vagina, and you're pushing the baby's head up while he or she is trying to pull, and you're literally touching fingers. It's the weirdest thing. And it's like push that baby out.
That's so.
And I remember I was training someone when that actually happened. I was like, this is great experience for this person. Well, like she didn't do it, but I remember. You kind of anticipate it if someone's been pushing for hours, like, okay, well, this is a possibility. And so that happened. I had someone training, and I just remember the doctor saying, I need a hand down there. And I knew exactly what he's talking about. And then my preceptee was like, what the fuck? Like, what? They didn't even know about that. And I was like, okay. And I'm like putting my sterile glove on really fast, and then like going under the drape. And so it's very interesting.
It is.
Like I'm saying, I do cool shit.
You do cool shit. Like, I've never experienced that. I don't think I was taught that in nursing school. There's a ton of stuff I'm sure I was taught, and I just don't remember.
I wasn't taught that in nursing school. It's
just because that's so niche specialty too. Like, you're not gonna get taught that till you get on the floor.
Exactly. And that's another thing that I like to bring up. When I graduated nursing school, I was like, I don't know how to take care of a patient. I was like, what? I have to be a nurse. I have to be a primary care provider for this person. I don't know how to be a nurse. Right. This is insane. And you learn through experience. Like, it took me, I had a 4-month training, and after that I felt really comfortable, but I was terrified.
It takes time.
Terrified. Because, you know, sometimes in clinicals you don't get the experience. And I can't even imagine the nursing students who went through COVID. What is it? Digital clinicals or something like that?
Yeah, like online.
What?
Like, it's so... That's why, like, give your freaking new grads a little bit of grace. Like, some of them are still coming out of COVID times, like, where they haven't interacted with an actual human being for their whole thing. That's why, like, sometimes when some nurses like, you didn't learn that in nursing school, I'm like, who the fuck cares if they did or they didn't? People learn differently, and a lot of them were not learning with actual human beings. They're learning with a fucking orange.
Yeah.
Like, it's just... A mannequin.
Digital.
Like... Just give them some grace. Like, I
would be terrified
because I was already terrified.
Yeah, going through normal nursing school. Like,
I can't imagine. God. But I felt that exact same way with when I walked on the unit. This sense of dread where I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, wait, sure. How did I pass? Like imposter syndrome, anxiety.
Yes, totally.
I thought I had IBS. For the longest time, and that's such a nursing student thing. Like, I'm like, do I have IBS? I have
you
all
went the bad. You have IBS.
I went the bad because I was so stressed and anxious during my orientation. I would literally be assessing my patient, you know, doing all the things. Have to shit mid-assessment. Literally have to stop what I'm doing. I'm so sorry. I'll be back. Run to the bathroom. Shit my brains out. Come back.
I'm sorry. That's just
I was so
funny but horrible.
It's hilarious now. I was fine, but I was going to the doctor. I literally told the doctor all this, and he looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You're stressed." He was like,
"Just stop being stressed."
Yes.
Like, you could turn it off.
Yeah, he's like, "Just you need to do just like deep breaths or something." Like, you ain't got IBS, girl. I'm like, I don't think you understand. But it was so bad. Like, that goes away with time. People that are like, I've been in it for a year. When does this go away? When did you start feeling comfortable? Somewhat
Some
comfortable.
people might not want to hear the answer to this, but I remember...
I bet we have the same.
It took me 2 years to not feel anxiety driving to work.
Yep.
Like, every time I'm like, oh my God. Like, but you can't plan your day out, you know?
No.
It's like when you're in... It reminded me of, you know, in class when you're in school, they'd be like, okay, everyone has to read out loud. And I'm like trying to count the people before me and like what paragraph I'm going to read so I can practice.
2, 3. So the dog ran down.
Yeah. So it was like similar, like that feeling as a child, but as an adult, but you can't prepare.
Right.
Like you can't prepare.
You can't.
And then, yeah, it just comes with time and experience.
And that's not to make you have more anxiety. Like, fuck, yeah. I have another year and a half. It's to just know it's normal.
Yeah. And maybe I don't know if I'm the average or what.
I think you're the average because I went around one day, I was bawling my eyes out. I have a story for you, and this is why I was bawling my eyes out. I was like, I'm so fucking stressed. I don't even know what a fucking hemorrhoid is. So I went to the doctor, with my patient. He was like, is there anything, you know, anything else? They're doing rounds. Is there anything else I need to know about the patient? I said this out loud. No. I said, I think she has hemorrhoids in her anus.
Where else would
he literally stopped, looked up at me.
No.
Where else would they be? I said, fucking hate myself. I literally was like, I don't fucking know.
Wait, was he not how would you not laugh as a doctor?
He busted out laughing.
Okay, good.
Which eventually made me feel better. But at the time, I was like, I'm so fucking stupid. Where else would they fucking be? It was so, but like, just the dumbest things would come out of my mouth.
He went home and told his family about it.
He never stopped giving me shit for that the whole year. I was always like, Lindsay, where were the hemorrhoids? Oh, in her ass.
Okay, then I'd be like, all right, bro.
Okay, bro. It's so funny.
It's just
so stupid. No, but it was just like one of those new grad things. Like I just said something stupid, guys. It's okay.
Oh yeah, so many stories.
But like,
so many stories.
I remember that day. I walked around the unit. I was like, guys. I told them all. I told the doctor.
They probably laughed.
They did. They thought it was hilarious. But I was like, when did you stop feeling this angst, this dread, this constant? In my head, I was like, you're the fucking stupidest person on this unit. You are so stupid.
Well, you're your own
dumb.
Worst critic.
You are.
That's for sure. And like, no one's really thinking about what you did. That was what you thought was stupid. Honestly, people are moving on with their lives.
They are. And that's the best thing. But everyone was like, about 2 years. Yeah, everyone. 2 years, 2.5, 2+ years. And I'm telling you guys that because you need to know that
You're normal.
You're normal. It's like if you try to go ride a bike and you've never ridden a bike, it's going to take you some time to learn the whole bike, how to stop, how to brake, how to go faster, all these things, how to balance. That's how nursing is. You just learned the basics with school, and so now you're coming out to the real world and that's why we say book world versus real world. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
You come out and you relearn some stuff, and that's okay.
I feel like nursing school just kind of helps you pass the NCLEX. Like,
it does. Yeah.
Like if I took the NCLEX right now, I don't think I would pass.
No,
honestly.
because of the real world stuff we deal with.
Yeah,
is
I'd
not
be like,
book
no, I
world.
would not choose A, B, or
A,
C.
B, C?
Or D.
Yeah.
Like, well, I know now it's like different. But
It is, because every situation's so different.
Yeah.
But it's just to let everyone know, like, it's okay. You're not alone. It'll take some time if you have anxiety, and then if you're like, well, I've been there for 2 years, I still have it. Everyone's different.
Yeah.
It might go away, and also if it's not going away,
You have opportunities. Maybe you don't.
Maybe you should
don't
go
like the
talk to a
unit.
professional. Honestly.
Yeah.
And
Maybe
I mean that kindly. Like, I'm on some PR and anxiety meds. I was like, girl, you better get yourself some Ativan for your panic attacks.
I just like to suffer in silence.
Everyone's different.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, well, I told you my embarrassing new grad story. Do you have any off the top of your head?
Again, like,
There's so many,
I
right?
still think about it.
About the same one.
But like, I'm sure no one, well, maybe that patient did. Okay, so new grad L&D nurse, I just didn't know how to read people. Like, everyone was an emergency to me. Like, oh my God, she's contracting. But that's not the case by any means. So also going off of people's actions and just the way people moan, or the way, anyways, it comes with the territory. So I didn't know any of that. I didn't have the intuition. I was very new. It was like the first 6 months, if that. And vag exams, I don't know any new L&D nurses out there, but it took me like 2 years to feel really comfortable with my vag and like confident, like, yeah, she is a 4 and 70% of face. Anyway, so this girl, she was acting like real active, in my opinion, as what, like 2 months into labor and delivery. And I was like freaking out, like, oh my God. So I checked her and I was like, 5 centimeters. She's 5 centimeters. I was just going off of her reaction. I'm not 100% sure what I was feeling. I don't know if I just made it up. Now it's a blur, like trauma. Just like, I forget exactly what.
Blackout.
This was what, like 11 years ago. And then my preceptor came up behind me. So I was like, oh, she's 5 centimeters, everyone. Like,
Get ready.
30 minutes before, she was like 1 centimeter or whatever. And then of course, my preceptor came in behind me and checked, and she was like, Anna, she's 1 centimeter. And I just wanted to die. Like, because the poor patient thought that she was progressing, and I'm sure she was feeling more pain, and like later she did progress. But at that point, like, and she had like 5 family members in the room, and I was like, she's 5 centimeters, everyone. And then preceptor was like, no, she's 1. And so like, and I was about to get like a table ready, but after she checked her, she was like, all right, let's turn down the lights. Like, let's put some calming music on. So I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was like, I'm so sorry. So anyways, again, maybe she's talking about the story.
Maybe she's
the
laughing.
patient is. Maybe. But I was so embarrassed. And I'm sure my preceptor doesn't even think about it, because, I mean, I've had situations.
It's like what a new grad does.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
I was embarrassed, but
they should be expecting, they're teaching us, so they should be expecting us to make some mistakes along the way, you know? Or like, yeah, you think like, so you're gonna say what you think, but then now you know that that's not 5 centimeters, just 1.
Yeah, right. So that's what I always think because I've trained a lot of people since then, and they're so hard on themselves. I'm like, hey, it's okay. Take it one day at a time.
Oh, I bet you're a good preceptor.
I would like to think so.
I bet you are.
So I'm just like, don't be too hard on yourself. I know this feels like the end of the world, but it really isn't.
Yeah.
Let me tell you some stories. Let me tell you how I felt. And I was like, just take a deep breath. Calm down. It's okay.
Oh, yeah.
We'll figure it out. You're not alone. You honestly are not alone. At least on my unit, you're never alone. You're absolutely never alone.
Oh, yeah. I think that's cool. I feel like I always tell my most embarrassing stories to students, which, funny enough, I've had more students as a travel nurse than a staff nurse. And I'm like, listen, I can't tell you where to find the chucks. I don't know where the shit is, but let me tell you what I know.
Let me give you some insight.
If you're looking for something, I'm not your girl. Okay, so I already told... No, have I told y'all yet about our God Malad haunted villa that Anna was the fucking grudge at one point?
No, I mean, we talked about the retreat, but...
Yeah. So long story short, we were there. We were having a lot of fun. One night, the lights started flickering on and off.
Like we were ready to go to bed.
We were ready.
Like we brushed our teeth. Like we got
just
our
got
faces
out of the shower.
off.
I was like getting ready, and the lights flickering.
Lindsay, like,
Stop.
did you turn the light on? And these lights are not like dim. I mean, they're bright. I'm like, I'm trying to go to bed.
Yeah, you were like, Lindsay,
stop.
And I was about to ask you, Anna, did you just turn on the light? And I kept saying, I must be walking by a sensor.
Yeah, no, that's what you said. I was like, yeah, probably, because I mean, it's a smart house.
It's a smart
I don't
house.
know. I was
like, where the fuck is the sensor? I keep walking by this fucking sensor because the lights were like flickering, like on, off.
Yeah.
This one come on, that one go off. Like, it's weird. Well, then we're in a group chat with everyone there. And they're like, guys, stop fucking with the lights.
Yeah.
We're like, what? Oh, it's not just us.
It's not you. Wait. Yeah, we're like, who's doing it then?
Yeah.
So and we're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So we end up going out, and we all kind of assume it's John, Nurse John, because he's a jokester.
Yeah, right.
So me and Anna are like, let's scare him. He's the one fucking with the lights. Let's scare him. I don't know if we've told him yet, but okay, there's two stories. He said that someone was scratching and knocking on the glass door. That was not us.
Okay. I don't believe that, but he swears by it. I'm like, you're just messing with us. You are just messing with us.
I don't believe that shit either.
Okay,
he was fucking with us.
I never admitted to this, but like, no. I was scratching at his door though.
Yeah,
like I was like,
so we decided to scratch his door, and then we hid in the laundry room. So we're both like, we're gonna scare him. Me, I'm thinking a cute little boo from around the corner, right? And that's what I did. I scared him when he came across. So while we're all like screaming, kind of talking about the lights, Anna goes off to do her scare.
Yeah, like I gave it time, it's for people to... So, like, 7 grown adults in the living room, like, they're starting to get creeped out because of the lights flickering on and off.
And it won't stop.
And nobody's admitting to it.
Right. And we're all together now, so we can see each other, and no one's fucking with the lights.
It's a villa. It's like this huge... This is how, like, scary story. This is how people die.
This
like
is how
scary
people
movies.
die in the movies, and there were windows everywhere.
Oh yeah, you couldn't even hide.
You can't hide.
That's creepy.
That was the creepy part. There were no blinds.
Yeah.
So Anna, I know she's about to scare us. Okay, but again, I'm thinking of Bill, like real cute, because Anna's real cute. Bill.
In the hallway, like it was dark.
In the hallway, it was dark. Yeah. This fucker crouches down in the corner at some point. All I hear is.
Yeah, it was pretty scary.
It was scary. With her hair in front of her face, jump hopping like a demon.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
and I didn't even catch this on...
No one caught it on film. Like, it would have been so funny. Literally, though, 7 grown-ass adults ran. And John was behind us all. He ended up in front of us all.
He's like, you wouldn't go and kill my ass.
Fuck you guys. You're on your own. He literally bolted towards the front. I'm crying at this point. Like, I have so many emotions happening. I knew she was going to scare us, but I did not think that was going to happen. Yeah. Literally bawling. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll put the video up. Literally crying. I was so mad. It was
just a lot of emotion.
Oh, so
I love all things scary. Like, I love horror, everything. So I'm like, this is my time to shine.
Everything has mounted up to this. Literally, I love scary stuff too, but I realize unless it's happening to me, then I'm like,
Yeah, I honestly that night I did feel uneasy, but it was like eventually it was almost 2 a.m. We were out there for at least
two hours.
Yeah, trying to figure out who did it, who didn't. There was a lot more to it. There was like a water bottle that fell from the ceiling. I don't know. It was very creepy, and I was like, I need to sleep. Okay, finally, we're gonna die. If we're gonna die, we're gonna die. At least I'm gonna be rested. Okay.
Literally, finally, we all went to bed, which was great.
Someone slept in our bed too because Jasmine ended up sleeping in our bed because she was scared. But because Lindsay and I were the only people who were sharing a room.
Yeah,
and everyone else had their bed. Individual rooms. I was like, oh no way in hell I would be sleeping by myself. So if I were Jasmine, I would be sleeping with us.
I was literally like campaigning for everyone to sleep in the living room together. I was like, can we just pull mattresses out, sleep together? I was so scared, but eventually we all went to bed. And then what do you know? The next morning, no one knows who was fucking with the lights. Mm-hmm. But apparently there was like a electrical outage. But I like to think that there was a ghost.
It was fun.
It was honestly looking back, it was pretty fun. Tears and all.
Yeah.
Tears and all. So do you have your question for the next guest?
Okay, question. I'm going to be a little more insightful than Big Daddy Addy.
That's fine.
Soaking. Okay. Okay, so for the next person, I would say, here's my question. What would you tell your younger self? Like, what would you tell your younger self now? Like, through all the experiences you've been through. And it doesn't even have to be about career. It could be, life, family, self-worth, or anything like that.
I love that.
What would you tell yourself?
I
Your
love
younger
that.
self,
I love that. That's good.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you'd tell your younger self?
Oh, dang. I would just say always go with your gut. Don't ignore the haters. I mean, that's literally my motto in life all the time, is ignore the hateful people and do what you want to do, as long as you're not hurting anyone and it makes you feel good and it makes you a better person.
You've taught me that too. Ignore the haters.
Yeah.
Ignore the haters. I love that. Well, thank you so much. So much.
My pleasure.
This has been really fun. If you guys want to hear more about Anna, her links to all her social medias will be in the description. And if you want to hear us talking more, you can go over to my Patreon for the juicy bits. I'm going to read her a couple stories, spooky stories from the hospital. And yeah, that's about it. But thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, guys.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.